Good morning to one and all. In the previous class, we discussed about different road development plans. That means first 20-year road development plans, second 20-year road development plan, and the third 20-year road development plans. In those first 20-year road development plan, we will discuss the major features of first 20-year plan. The duration is 1940 to 43 to 1963, and that plan was developed at Nagpur, which was located in Maharashtra. So that plan is called Nagpur plan. The required length of the road, so they estimated that 5,32,700 kilometers, and the road density is 16 kilometers for every 100 square kilometers, and that plan was implemented at the end of 1959. So that the second 20-year plan was allotted from 1961 to 1981 because of this previous completion of this project. This is the first 20-year plan details. In the second 20-year plan, the span is from 1961 to 1981. This plan was developed at Bombay, so that this plan was called as Bombay Road Plan. First one is Nagpur Road Plan, and second one is Bombay Road Plan. And the aimed length for road construction is 10,57,330 kilometers. First one is the 5 lakhs something, second one is the 10 lakhs, that means double the first one. And the density of road is 32 kilometers of square kilometers for 32 kilometers for every 100 square kilometers of area. An outlay of 5,000 to 2,000 crores. 5,200 crores is the total project cost for that span of time. That means 1961 to 1981. These are the some of the points in the second 20-year plan. In those, they categorized on metal roads and metal roads for 12.8 kilometers and 4.8 kilometers from any land, because in the first 20-year plan they developed mainly national highways and small other roads, and those roads which are having conflict points at railways and others, those are also delimited from the main one. In first time they are doing that project, so that they are having a few difficulties, and those difficulties can be mitigated by second 20-year plan and third 20-year plan. This is the third 20-year plan we need to discuss in today's class. Third 20-year plan, the span is 20 years from 1981 to 2001. Okay, this was developed should based on the revised classification of road systems like primary, secondary, and tertiary. This is the classification of roads according to their quantities and others. Primary, we are having national highways and expressways. Secondaries, we are having state highways, major district roads, and tertiary roads, we are having other district roads and village roads. Those 6 kinds of roads into 3 categories. Depending upon 3 categories, the third 20-year road development plan implemented in the years between 1981 to 2001. And the second point is develop the rural economy and small towns with essential features. That means they developed the essential, that means they whatever the minimum features required for those particular villages and small towns, they developed according to that economy and rural peoples. Third one is the population over 5,000 should be connected by all weather roads. That means population over 500, that means these are called normally villages and other small scale villages and other small scale places. These places are having normally over the 500 people. Those places they need to connect with all weather roads. This is also one of the classification, all weather roads and fair weather roads we discussed in the previous class. All weather roads means in all seasons we like to travel on those roads. Those are called all weather roads. And second classification is the fair weather roads. In these fair weather roads, we likely travel in some of the reasons only, like summer season and winter season. And particularly in rainy seasons, we didn't travel on those roads because of so much of floods coming on those roads. And so in some of the cases, we are having a huge amount of snow and others on winter season, so that traveling is not sufficient on particular season, so that those roads are called as fair weather roads. Now density we need to increase to 82 kilometers per every 100 square kilometers. So in the first 20-year plan we are having 16 kilometers of road density for every 100 square kilometers, but in case we are in second we are having only 32 kilometers. But whenever we are having third plan, they raised the third plan to 82 kilometers of road for every 100 square kilometers. Okay, the national network, that means the national highway network, should be expanded to form a square grids. That means square grids from the national highway, they need to form a small square grid, so that the roads should be connected to square grid on each ends in the form of 100 kilometer sites, so that the no part in the country is more than 50 kilometers from the national highway. No part of the country, that means in the country we are having different states and districts and other villages, small scale villages, so that in the third 20-year plan they implemented that in each part of the country has to bind with these national highways. That means each part has to bind with these national highways in the form of small grids. That means small grid means like square patterns and rectangular patterns, so that each pattern should be connected with these national highways. That means this is the major advantage while connecting like this. Whenever we are having these crops and other industries which are lies in small scale cities, those cities has to connect with this highway, so that our transportation system will be as much as possible to connect with this national highway, so that the transporting is very easy to transport their goods and other crops to the outfields and industries and other states and other central level, so that they will earn as much as possible because of this transportation system and easier to transport their goods. This is the major advantage for third 20-year plan. Why? Because of they need to connect the roads with the help of the square grids for every 50 kilometers and 100 kilometers. This is the major point in the third 20-year plan. The expressway should have to construct the third 20-year plan. The expressway should be constructed along the major traffic corridors. This is the corridor, that means major traffic corridors. This is the point you need to know. Major traffic corridor means in the cities we are having such a conflict points, so that cities are any other mandals. That means మండలాలు అంటాం కదా మనం. ఈ మండలాలు మనకి ఏం చేస్తాయంటే few villages are tie up with these mandalas in our states, so that at the point there is a huge amount of traffic due to this transporting of goods from villages to mandals and mandals to districts and districts to state level. We need to transport and we need to buy few products from the cities to villages, like fertilizers and other pesticides and other agro based products we need to sell from the cities, so that the traffic should be conflict at that particular points. We need to rectify those traffic conditions by using these expressways constructing along with major traffic corridors. Next point is the all towns and villages with population over 1500 should be connected with major district roads. In a few of the villages we are having a less quantity of population. In few villages we are having huge amount of populations. First of all, in our state level or central level, we need to collect the data, whatever the population data according to 1990. For every 10 years, we are collecting population data. From that population data, we need to categorize different kinds of villages which are having huge amount of population and less amount of population. First of all, we need to bifurcate those villages which are having huge amount of population. That means more than 2000, how many villages in our state, and what the plans we need to take to connect those with major district roads and other district roads. So what is the total length we need to construct? What is the estimated amount of project? That means cost we need to bear to build those roads. All those points we need to understand first. Okay, after that we need to categorize those places into different conditions depending upon their field patterns. That means all villages we are having field areas. In some of the areas we are not having water facilities, so that they are having only one crop per year. Some of the places we are having three crops per year. In some of the places we are having only two crops per year, so that we need to categorize those also, because in the three crops we are having a huge number of traffic throughout the year, but in case of one crop we are having only at that particular time, so that we need to construct on the basis also while planning this. Next one is the roads should be built in less industrialized areas so that attract the growth of industries. This is also one of the key point for village areas, so that in a few of the villages we are not having these canals and other rivers, so that the total are dry lands, not wetlands. Dry lands and wetlands. Wetlands means what are the, there is any facilities of canals and rivers, those lands are called wetlands. That means తడితనంగా ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి దాన్ని wetlands అంటాం మనం. in few cases we are not having these rivers and canals, so that those are called wetlands. In those wetland areas we need to construct more number of industries, and we need to create employment facilities to those villagers to rectify those poverties. Okay, we need to industrialize those kind of areas. We need to also, due to the industrialization, automatically there will be a road network system develops in those villages. Why? Because of industries we are implementing a huge amount of steel or cement or any other materials we are producing. We need to transfer those materials to needy areas. That means wherever there is a construction, automatically they require the cement and steel. Automatically we need to transport the produced materials from the industries to needy areas, so that we need to arrange a road systems from the government. Automatically the government develops a different kinds of plans to transfer the materials by using these different kinds of ways, like roadways and railways. If the needy areas are so long, definitely they will construct railways. If the needy areas are nearer to the industries, they will develop these roadways like BT roads and TT roads, CT roads. And next point is the existing roads should be improved by rectifying the defects on the road geometry. The existing roads should be improved by rectifying the defects. That means if one of the road was laid in a particular 1980 or 1970, after 10 years, due to different climatic conditions like heat and whenever there is a summer season, so much of heat falls on the road, so that there will be some cracks developed on that road. Whenever there is a monsoon season, that means rainy season, in that season we are having lot of floods and storms coming on that year, so that the entire base will be disturbed due to flowing of this water and penetration of water in the beneath layers of the roads. In whenever some winter season we are having less fractures due to this winter season. We are having mainly rainy seasons and summer season is mainly we are having effects with these roads and the climate, so that we need to rectify those defects on the road geometry. uh, it is one of the point, and second point is when we developed a lot of roads in the low population. That means 1970s 1980s were constructed some of the roads. After that 20 years and 10 years, in the particular areas we are having huge amount of population growing like that. And in the 1990s we are having and nearly 90 crores, and like that population. In the 2000s we are having 100 crores. 2010 we are having 130 crores. Like that population will be increases every 10 years. We need to consider those also below before constructing a road. After 10 years, what is the population of our country and what is the population for that particular area? Is a population a rising country or population falling place? We need to understand depending upon the population for every 10 years what is the condition in that area. Depending upon those calculations, we need to construct the road. If it is a one lane road and population is rising year by year, we need to construct it to two lane road by simply modifying the road plans and removing the side curbs and other trees and other small small cities and smart cities, small houses and others which are constructed nearby the roads because of this extension of these roads. And next one is widening is over. Riding quality. This riding quality mainly depends upon the kinds of vehicles traveling on the road. If there is a normal village roads, those village roads are designed for normal these tractor loads and other lorry loads. Whenever there is a construction equipment like these cranes and other bulldozers come, so there is a lot of impact on that particular road, so that the total road strata will disturb due to the entering of this kind of procliners and other high raised steel equipment vehicles. So that the riding quality also depends upon these type of actions. We need to control these by providing a separate route for those vehicles and strengthening the existing pavements. That means we need to strengthen the existing pavement. That means every year by year we are having different kinds of factors applying on those. We need to strengthen the particular amount of roads by considering different patterns of building these roads. And next one, save the vehicle operation. That means vehicle operations. While traveling on that roads, we are applying suddenly brakes on that particular roads. Due to the application of the brakes, the top layer of the road will be eroded some part at mainly at these cross sections. That means whenever there is a meeting of two or three roads, at those particular points we are having huge number of traffic collisions are takes place every day, so that the top layer will be eroded easily. In those particular areas we need to modify the top layer by using different construction practices. We need to conserve the energy. Next one, conserve the energy means while we are traveling on those particular roads, we need to use petroleum products as main energy conservators for the vehicles. So we need to decrease the energy conservation by constructing a small connecting roads. That means if there is a distance between 2 points is so high, we need to decrease the distance by constructing an additional roads in between them, so that the distance will be decreases by a lot. So we need to conserve the petroleum products like this. And next way is the highway alignment and surveys. That means different kinds of highway alignments like square patterns, rectangular patterns, trapezoidal patterns, and hectagonal patterns, octagonal patterns. Already these kind of patterns we will discuss in the previous slides. This highway alignment comes under those, and surveys we need to conduct. So that every survey we need to ask the people traveling on those roads what is the comments on the particular road. If they are traveling on the particular roads, we need to take the comments from the pedestrians and other vehicular traffics and drivers. We need to collect those data. In those, first of all, we need to consider the alignment of the highway. If the alignment of highway is proper, we need to take the particular data from the users, that means drivers which are going on that particular highway. The positioning of layout of the center line of highway is on the ground is called alignment. That means position or layout of the center. That means if the highway is in a circular shape, the center we need to consider, or any other, if there it is a like a square pattern, we need to consider the central point of that highway. We need to consider different kinds of alignments of this highway. And highway particular ground, that means there are different kinds of grounds. So that black cotton soil, it is rust or red soils or any other soils, so we need to consider different patterns. Why? Because of in all kinds of roads are not suitable for all kinds of these soils, so that we need to choose the different kinds of alignment for different types of soils, so that we need to change or adjust the alignment of these highways. And second point is it includes the straight path, horizontal deviation and curves. That means a straight path. Whenever there is a straight path, it will be riding easily for the riders or drivers. If there is any application, that means curve by curve there will be a lot of mental problem to the driver, and it will leads to accidents. That means curve by curve they will go, simply they will affected by due to this centripetal forces to their brains. Automatically the vehicle leads to accidents, and in the centripetal force acting on that vehicle, we need to provide a cantilevers, that means not cantilevers, cantangles, that means super elevations and other cantangles, that means gattu konam antamu telugulo danni. We need to provide those. Due to those, we need to reduce the accidents. And horizontal deviations, that means horizontal and vertical deviations we need to maintain on that particular road. So due to this heavy amount of turnings, due to improper alignment, what are the disadvantages? If there is a proper alignment for that highway, there is no problem. Automatically the riders will go smoothly on those particular roads. If there is any defects on that particular road takes place, automatically all the vehicles will got damages, and automatically accidents will take place on that particular highways. We need to arrest those accidents by implementing different kinds of alignments on that particular roads, so that a huge number of traffic will go smoothly as possible. Due to improper alignment, what are the disadvantages we are having? That means improper means not having proper plans and proper designs on that particular roads. Due to these improper designs, we met a huge amount of accidents, and we didn't go through expected speeds. That means we are having different kinds of speeds for particular roads. Normally we are having a super that means national highways we need to go through 100 kmph, and state highways through 80 kmph, and other district roads through 60 to 80 kmph, and expressways we will go through 120 kmph speed. That means kilometers per hour. Like that our vehicles will travel along the roads on that particular speeds. Like super sections we are having 120 kmph, and national highways we are having 100 kmph, state highways we are having 80 kmph. Like that we are going. Whenever there is obstructions on the particular roads, we didn't control on particular 120 kmph, our vehicle didn't turn into 100 kmph suddenly. So that we need to take proper actions while designing these alignments to increase the construction. That means we need to increase the construction activity. Like these roads, we need to construct a huge number to control this. And next one, increase the maintenance cost. That means the top layers we need to maintain. We need to show different kinds of arrows and peg marks and other bifurcation of these roads. That means in the central level of the road we are having a white paint coating with some gaps. We need to show those for different kinds of roads. Suppose it is a single lane roads, we didn't have to show those white lines. For suppose it is a double lane road, so we need to bifurcate the road into two parts by maintaining this white paint in the center line. If it is a triple lane road, we need to bifurcate that with two central lines of white paint or any other yellow paint. so that the vehicular traffic will be right smoothly. And next one is the increases the vehicle operation cost. That means vehicle operation cost. This also we need to know. Vehicle operation cost means we are having national highways with these toll gates, so that every 100 kilometers or every 50 kilometers we are having toll gates, so that we need to increase the toll gates by decreasing the accidents and increasing the vehicle operation costs. For two wheelers there is no charge in the toll gates. For four wheelers and eight wheelers we are having different kinds of rates depending upon their road usage level. If there is a movement of two wheeler, there will be no damage to the particular roads. If there is a movement of four wheeler, there should be some amount of damage due to this total vehicle density on that particular road. Automatically, if number of wheels increases, the density of the vehicle increases and the road eroding value increases, so that we need to charge like that. Four wheelers particular amount, six wheeler particular amount, 10 wheeler particular amount, like that we need to charge for that particular vehicles to increase the vehicle operation, to increase the funds for particular roads. If the funds are high, automatically we will improve the road qualities. If the funds are low, we didn't improve that particular roads, and if they didn't improve the particular roads, automatically accidents will occur on the particular roads. So that vehicle operation fund should be necessary to improve the quality of the roads on particular areas and patterns. And next, once the road is aligned in and constructed, that means if there is a road between constructed between two points, in that particular points we are having hills and rivers, we need to divert the road between the hills, so that it is not possible to construct along the hill or beside the hill, because we need to construct so much of activities. Along the hill means we need to construct bridges. Below the hill means we need to do dredging. That means తవ్వడం లాంటివి చేయాలి. మనకి అలా తవ్వడం లాంటివి చేయడం వల్ల మనకి ఏమవుతుందంటే హ్యూజ్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ funds will need, so that we need to divert that particular route into another ways. And next one, changing of alignment, all those comes under that. Increases in the cost of adjoining land and construction costly structures, so that whenever there is a hills and other obstructions, we have to bear huge amount of funds to divert those particular routes. This is the highway alignment, mainly depends upon those 3 points. This is the straight line roads. Okay, this is the straight line roads which are having white paints at the ends and middle points. We are having white paints. They shows that difference between the first way and second way. In the middle of the land we are having granary, so that the granary shows the bifurcation between left side road and right side roads. If there is no granary, automatically the vehicle automatically moves on these roads and that roads, so that the accident should occur on that particular point. So we need to decrease those accidents by implementing these granary points in the middle of the road. Okay, in the side sections also we need to use some amount of spaces for parking facilities, so that the vehicles, drivers and others will rest for few time. So for national highways or others, they are traveling for thousands of kilometers in a particular day, so that they need to take rest for few hours, so that their mind should be relaxes after the 1 hour and 2 hour. Automatically they will re-drives their vehicles. This is the different kinds of paths. In that particular point we are having circular path, so that vehicle need to rotate in that particular point, so that that particular point they need to slow down the vehicle and move as usual. It is a path like our plateau in the second image. It is a vehicle need to travel in a plateau like state, so that the speed of the vehicle automatically decreases due to this kind of patterns. This is also like an above pattern. This is entirely different. Okay, these are the different kinds of patterns of roads while we are constructing due to obstacles. These are natural obstacles, so we didn't overcome those natural obstacles. according to nature we need to go. If we disturb the nature, nature will disturb like accidents and other incentives. Next one, requirements of highway alignment. What are the requirements of highway alignment? The first major requirement is as short as possible. That means the distance between the 2 points is as short as possible. If there is a long distance, we need to construct for a long span of length, and that length should be costs as much as possible. The cost should be borne by the driver and pedestrians, and not pedestrians. The cost will be paid by the users. That means those who uses the particular highway, they need to pay some toll gate charges and other petroleum charges directly, so that every user must be responsible for that highway. So that the first major point is the highway should be as short as possible. మనకి ఎంత తక్కువగా ఉంటే మనకు అంత బెనిఫిట్. And the second one is the alignment is as easy as possible. That means as easy as possible means it is the easiest way to design the particular road. It is in that particular roads we are having a complex features. We need to maintain different radiuses, take different kind of radiuses. We need to provide a cant angles, super elevations, and other surveys we need to conduct, so that it is as easy as possible to design. Next one, the requirements of highway should be safe. That means in the safe means the drivers and the vehicles, those who are traveling on the particular roads, those should be in safe condition after their reaching goal. That means whenever there are traveling vehicles on the particular road, so they didn't go for meeting accidents. If they met the accidents, automatically traffic disturbance takes place, and the road should be collapses due to particular points. Automatically there will be a lot of disturbance to the nature. Okay, we need to drive safe as possible for our lives. And next one, economical. That means economical means if there is a turns like this and like this, if there is a straight line and curved line, straight line having small length, curved line having huge amount of length, so that it should be economical to design purpose also. And one point by one point we will discuss. In the first bottom points, we are having a short. That means desirable to have a short alignment between two టర్మినల్ స్టేషన్స్. టర్మినల్ స్టేషన్స్ మీన్స్ పక్క పక్కన ఉన్న స్టేషన్స్ మనం టర్మినల్ స్టేషన్స్ అంటాం. దీస్ టూ టర్మినల్ స్టేషన్స్ షుడ్ బి యాజ్ షార్ట్ యాజ్ పాసిబుల్. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ వన్, ఈజీ టు కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ అండ్ మెయింటైన్ ద రోడ్ విత్ మినిమమ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్. ఆల్సో ఈజీ టు ఆపరేట్ ద వెహికల్. That means very easy to operate that vehicle on that particular path. If there is a huge amount of turns, automatically the driver will disturbs to travel the vehicle due to this huge number of turns and others. And next one, safe. This safe is enough for the construction and maintenance from the point of stability of natural hill slopes, embankments, cuts, slope. As previously we discussed that we need to provide particular cants and super elevations. Those super elevations and cants comes under this slope. Whenever there is a slope, we need to maintain proper super elevation. That means V equals to h square by 2g. Like that formulas we need to use for designing these roads. So those formulas will come under the third chapters and fourth chapter. And we need to construct particular embankment. That means if there is an embankment, automatically the total vehicular load should be transported to the bottom part of the soil. If there is no proper embankment, that means the vehicle should skids as much as possible. And cut slope also safe for traffic operations. Cut slope is also safe for traffic operations, means we need to cut the slopes and maintaining a proper design speeds at particular slopes. In that particular slopey areas, we need to provide a huge number of boats on that particular slope area, which speed is safer. Okay, we need to educate the drivers and other traffic users. on particular areas we are having huge number of accidents are taking place, so that you need to go slow on the speed of 20 to 30 kilometers or 40 kilometers. You need to maintain that particular speed on the roads. And next one, economical. That means the total cost, including the total cost of the project, including initial cost. That means in initial stage we need to smoothen the surfaces. So whenever there is a trees and other hilly and other stony surfaces are there, we need to smoothen those surfaces. That is comes under this initial cost. After that, maintenance cost. That means maintenance cost means every year by year, or for every 6 months or 1 year to 12 months, we need to maintain the particular roads by construct by different kinds of paints. Like this, the edges we need to paint with white, in the middle we need to do like this. In this particular area we are having yellow paint is used. That means streaming is strictly prohibited in that particular area. That streaming means changing of line, one lane to another line is strictly prohibited. Whenever we see that double line, this double line indicates prohibition of vehicles is strictly, and vehicle operation and cost should be as minimum as possible to construct the particular roads. And next one, factors controlling alignment. Alignment means the way we arrange the particular road to between two points, that is called alignment. First one, obligatory points. Obligatory point means whenever we going on particular roads, there are some obligations. That means in some of the areas we are having churches and temples and other mosques. On that particular points we didn't have to go through construction. Definitely we need to change our path. And some historical places also, on that particular roads we need to change our points, so that the total length of the road should be increases due to those obligations. Next one is the traffic. It is a major factor for constructing. If there is a high traffic, we need to construct as straight roads. If there is a light traffic, we need to construct curved roads. Why? Because if there is a high traffic, when we go to curved roads, there will be lead to accidents. So that whenever there is a traffic is high, we need to construct as simply as straight roads. Next one, geometric design. This geometric design mainly depends upon these circular patterns of roads, extremely at hilly areas. Whenever we go through hilly areas, in that particular hill where we go to reach top points, we are having different kinds of road patterns on that particular hills. Those are called these geometrical designs. And next one, economics. That means these money related matters, all those comes under these economics and other considerations. That means different kinds of considerations means if there is a lakes or ponds or rivers in that, or particularly there is any crop fields or any other wild sanctuaries and any other different kinds of considerations we need to take while designing the roads. Those considerations are mainly depends upon the particular span of the length and surrounding activities. And next one is the additional care. Additional care in hilly roads. That means in hilly roads we have to construct a huge number of precautionary measures. Why? Because in summer, in winter season and not winter season, in especially in rainy seasons, whenever the rain falls on that particular hills, there is a fall of small stones and large stones from the hills to these roads, so that we need to cut these embankments. Okay, we need to check the stability of that particular hill, if there it is safe or unsafe to construct the road behind the hill. Okay, we need to check those hills. And next one, drainage. What is the drainage means? Free flow of water from one point to another point is called drainage. If there is no free flow, automatically water stacks on that particular point, it will causes disturbance to the users, that means travelers on that particular roads. If we lay a particular road on beside the hill, if there is no proper drainage, that means that the total entire rainwater stacks on that particular roads, it will causes traffic jams. So that we need to take care about these drainage facilities while we are constructing these roads. Next one is the geometric standards and of hill roads. Geometric standards means in particularly hilly areas we need to construct some spaces to show our historically monuments and others to our travelers and other people who are coming from uh, other countries. We need to show them our monuments and other historical places, so that we need to construct different kinds of roads to these hills, so that the different kinds of geometric standards we need to follow to show those kinds of monuments and important places. Those geometric designs we will discuss in the second chapters and third chapters. Okay, these geometric standards, all those I will show in the pictorial representation, so that you will understand a lot in hilly roads. Next one, resisting length. That means resisting length means while we are traveling on that particular road, the total load will be bared by some particular points. So those points are called resisting points. In the throughout the length of the roads, what amount of resisting length we are having, we need to calculate that. Okay, we need to calculate that. These are the main factors for alignment. First one is the obligatory points. That means there are any obligations or any obligations is there, those are called obligation points, like important places in the middle of the roads. Next one, traffic facilities and geometric designs, economics and other considerations. Next one is the additional care taken are stability, drainage and geometric standards. These are the additional cares while we are taking constructing these roads along hills and others.